Hey everybody, and welcome to the Daily Scopes for the 21st of March. So yeah, today is a new moon day, so here comes the long analysis. So yeah, okay, so on the 21st of March, we've got a lot going on. We've got the moon entering Pisces at 6:28 a.m. So when the moon's in Pisces, the sign of the fish, people can be more introspective, going inwards over the next few days. You may find yourself more preoccupied with your own emotional and psychological inner world rather than with the matters of the outside world, you know. Unsurprisingly, this can lead to bumps in the road regarding your close relationships and your performance of work, because some of you, you just won't be able to meet your obligations, or you just want to be more quiet and your partner may want to talk, so just watch out for that. If you want to know more about the moon in Pisces, then check out the playlist. Also, the energy of the equinox is still here at the time of the full moon, and now the moon is in Pisces and the sun's already in Pisces, so this is amplifying that introspective, going inward, sort of spiritual exploration sort of energy. Also today at 5:23 p.m. there's a super new moon, and it's in the 7th Sabian degree of Pisces, so this is where the sun and the moon are. So this Sabian placement of 7th degree Pisces brings spiritual energy to the new moon, enabling us to access our inner wisdom and connect with something greater than ourselves. During this new moon, the sun and the moon will both be in Pisces, as I said earlier. So as we know, this sign is associated with compassion, creativity and mysticism. This alignment of the sun and moon can help us to open our hearts to new possibilities and awaken to our inner power. So as with every new moon, this can be a powerful time to manifest your highest potential and reflect on your spiritual or emotional, psychological path, as well as your career, your relationships. This is because the new moon marks the start of the new cycle, and it's the perfect time to set intentions for what we want to create in our lives. You can take this opportunity to focus on your spiritual growth or any other sort of growth, and open yourself up to the possibility of positive transformation. By harnessing the energy of the new moon, you can begin to make meaningful and lasting changes in your life that will bring you closer to your true purpose. As we tap in and focus on the energy of the new moon, we can use this time to identify any blocks that are holding us back and begin to take steps towards letting them go, whether it's tackling negative thought patterns or behavioural ones, breaking those habits that no longer serve us, or simply taking some time out to recharge. The new moon can be a powerful tool for setting new plans and moving forward. Moving into greater self-awareness and understanding by focusing on your spiritual growth during the new moon is the best use of this energy. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. So it's also available to focus on your inner thoughts and feelings and let go of any negativity that may be holding you back there. Self-reflection is key to understand and gain insights into your inner motivations and the choices that we make. We can also use this time of the new moon to practice meditation and mindfulness and reconnect to our spiritual, intuitive core by engaging in activities that help us to connect with our inner selves and the divine, so we can better understand our spiritual or emotional, psychological journeys and how we can progress on our path. So if we just still down, go within, we may gain some insight that can help us do this. During the new moon, the sun and moon are conjunct Mercury, so on the positive side, these conjunctions could bring about and support that sort of like spiritual awareness, creativity and communication. It can also be an excellent time to express your ideas with other people or to yourself, because sometimes we find it hard to express ourselves to ourselves. On the negative side, however, this conjunction can bring a sense of confusion and disorganization, making it difficult for us to communicate effectively with others or make effective decisions. which can cause tensions in relationships, as the opposing energies of the sun and moon can, lead to disagreements in our most intimate relationships. So just watch out for that. Also, the sun and moon make a square to Mars, so the energy of these transits can bring a period of greater progress and productivity, so supporting that new moon energy, allowing us to be more determined and motivated. On the other flip side of this energy of the sun and moon square Mars, emotions can be increased and so can tensions. Mars represents a strong and forceful energy that can lead to disagreements and conflict, so further amplifying the risk of disagreement and arguments caused by the sun and moon's conjunction with Mercury. Additionally, the sun and moon make a semi-square to Uranus, amplifying the creativity and intuition offered by the other aspects I've mentioned. So these energies offer us a moment of clarity and insight, enabling us to gain a new perspective on our current situations, so any problems that we're facing right now. On the downside, this can bring a feeling of disruption to our plans, so make a backup plan just in case something you was counting on doesn't go through. This can be a time of uncertainty. Some of you may also feel a lack of stability and security, as these energies surround us, lead us into unpredictable thoughts, events, behaviours, and it can just bring about a sense of general sort of like chaos and bring in periods of high tension and stress, and any pent-up emotions are likely to be released by yourself and others, which adds to the potential for disharmony in relationships. That's also caused by the sun and moon square into Mars, so just watch out for this, because there's a lot of energies that are saying that these sort of breakdowns in communications could happen, or breakdown in communication with your own thoughts, with you just feeling a bit numb to your emotions, or a bit driven by them, where you just, explode with words, or at the worst end with physical action. So watch out for that. Respect other people's boundaries and try and just chill out and not overreact if you do feel affected by these energies. Also, the sun and moon are making conjunctions with Neptune. So on the positive side, this is a chance for individuals to cultivate spiritual development and gain great insight and understanding of their life and strengthen their connection to the universe, a higher power, or to their religion or anything else that they've got a deep connection to. The alignment of these cosmic forces can bring about increased awareness of your place in the world and a profound sense of peace and oneness. On the negative side, those who are too sensitive to the planet's energies can find themselves overwhelmed by the intensity of these energies, resulting in confusion and anxiety. The energy of the sun and moon mixed with Neptune, amplifying the planet's effects and increasing the intensity. For those who are too sensitive to these energies, this can lead to feeling overwhelmed, which can manifest in feeling physically tired, mentally stressed, and other forms of emotional distress as well. So it's useful to ensure that you're in tune with your sensitivity levels and be mindful of the effects of the sun and moon in conjunction with Neptune may have on your vitality right now. Although it may be tempted to numb yourself with distractions or intoxicating substances, acknowledging and processing uncomfortable feelings in healthier ways is good for your overall well-being. If you feel overwhelmed by the energies of the sun and the moon in conjunction with Neptune, it's essential to take some time to step back and regain connection with yourself. This can be done in various ways, such as journaling, meditation, yoga, tai chi, going for a walk, talking to a therapist or somebody else who can help you. And also remember, it's helpful to take time out to focus on the positive aspects of your life or any problems that you're facing right now, although this can be hard, but be patient with yourself and others as you navigate the situation and your own emotions and other people's feelings as well. it's beneficial, to take some self-care right now and do whatever brings you joy, like playing an instrument, listening to music, gaming, reading a book, taking a hot bath, or anything else that brings you a sense of inner peace and enjoyment. Also, the ongoing energies of the Sun and Moon sextile Pluto also create a positive and add to this positive energy for change and creative expression, also supporting us going within and connecting with our inner selves and gaining more self-confidence, self-awareness, and increasing our ability. So that, loads of energies today are supporting us getting in tune with our inner truth. So for some of us, this is our gut feelings. For others of us, this is our deductive reasoning, logical sort of rational thinking skills, sitting down, being truthful with ourselves about what we want out of our lives, also allowing us to create a more meaningful life if we want to as well, and open up to new avenues of self-expression and being able to connect deeper with whoever we call the divine and our higher self. But on the negative side, the Sun and Moon sextile to Pluto can bring about an overwhelming feeling, leading to power struggles and mistrust. It can also lead to intense emotions and fear of the unknown. So it's essential to be aware of these negative effects and sort of move forward. Mars and Saturn come together in a trine also, and Mars's ongoing square with Neptune. So the trine aspect is 120 degree angle between two planets. The square, of course, is a 90-degree angle. So trines are harmonious and squares are not. But like I said, positive and negative aspects in astrology can be beneficial or negative. Some people find with loads of hard aspects in their natal chart or transits actually perform better than when, the planets are working together. Because sometimes when everything's going good, we can just relax too much and not actually tap into these energies. So the hard aspects actually make us push ourselves forward at times if we use them that way. So again, these energies support us achieving our goals, giving us a sort of strength within to face whatever comes our way right now, allowing us to take responsibility, increase our self-discipline and organisational skills and ambition, because Saturn's in the midst here. But on the negative side, this aspect can make it difficult for us to relax and take a break. So this can lead to feelings of feeling stunned, dazed, overworked. So try and chill out to avoid burnout. Also, the influence of Mars and Neptune in a square at worst can bring confusion, avoidance and procrastination, and even self-doubt and deception, or other people can try and deceive you at this time with their sort of sexual energy or using force to get what they want as well, or manipulated. So watch out for that. Some of you may find it hard to tell fact from fiction, finding it tricky to make decisions because things can become unpredictable, especially with the Uranus aspects that I mentioned earlier. Still, at the best, Mars square Neptune at the time of this new moon adds a sort of dreamy vibration, allowing us to be more creative, to get more artistic, and to be more in tune and get information about our spirituality and life direction in general. It can also be used to create positive and support those changes in your life. And actually, when used correctly, this Mars and Neptune square can help us to develop new habits and learn new skills, and that's exactly what the new moon is about. So originality, imagination, intuition, and it supports the spiritual growth that's needed and called for by the Sun and Moon being in Pisces at the time of the new moon. Also, Mars makes a quincunx to Pluto, Jupiter makes a semisquare to Saturn, and Jupiter also makes a conjunction to Chiron. So Mars and Pluto is in a quincunx, which is when two planets or luminaries, i.e. the Sun and the Moon, are 150 degrees apart. So this aspect can bring challenges and obstacles, as well as provide the ground for transformation and growth through overcoming these limitations and restrictions and arguments that can come our way. So although there's a struggle between Mars and Pluto in this aspect as well, if you try and express the needs of Mars, which is motivation, going ahead, and Pluto, what's calling you to let go of negative relationship, thought and behaviour patterns, that's the best way to manage this sort of like Quincunx energy and to compromise to make progress. Also, Jupiter SemiSquare Saturn, so this is when two planets are 45 degrees apart, so this aspect is considered to be challenging as well, because again it represents conflicting energies between these planets. Jupiter is associated with grand visions, expansive ideas, and an optimistic outlook. On the other hand, Saturn is associated with structure, self-discipline, and caution, calculated risk, whereas Jupiter's all about sort of like impulsive risk. So, this energy adds tension and frustration as these planets pull us in opposite directions. But to make the most of this aspect, it's good to be diplomatic, to create balance. So for example, it can be beneficial to be ambitious and strive towards your goals while being mindful of the time and other resources, finances and everything, making a strategic plan. So yeah, go ahead and take that risk, but make sure you think about it beforehand and be practical with it, because not all the ideas that we do have do work out. So yeah, think outside of the box and outside of your comfort zone. Find a way to make your plans work despite any obstacles, using any challenges you face to your advantage and working with restrictions, because sometimes we can't help what other people do or what's going on in the world with all the economic instability, but we can control how we respond and what we do. So sometimes we just have to break our goals down into smaller steps or wait, but just always be pushing, learning skills. We live in the age of information, so we can pretty much teach ourselves anything with a connection to the internet on our phones. Even you don't even have to have a laptop nowadays. So think about what you can do with what you do have, rather than focusing on what you don't have, trying to push beyond your limits. And by doing this, you'll be able to make progress while avoiding unnecessary conflict and stress that a lot of transits are bringing today at the time of this super new moon. And also the spring equinox energy is still there as well. So Jupiter's conjunction to Chiron, on the positive side, this aspect allows us to have this newfound sort of like insight, understanding, and to look at the bigger picture, allowing us access to wisdom that we never had before if we're able to go within. It gives us the ability to heal our emotional wounds and traumas, also our psychological and spiritual one, also allowing us to, if we want to, reach those new levels of spirituality and be more creative in the way that we look at our life and the people in it. On the downside, this aspect can bring about difficulties and confusion, particularly when it comes to interpersonal relationships, because it brings emotional and spiritual and psychological challenges that can be difficult to face and overcome. And some of you may want to run into drugs, alcohol, or other distractions. And I know how it feels, because sometimes it can just be hard, especially when you start the spiritual path or the path of healing your emotions, and then it's just sometimes it feels like they never stop, they keep coming. So just don't overwhelm yourself, do the inner work, go within, but also sometimes take some time out to chill out and be grounded and practical with spirituality. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Ultimately, this aspect can lead to tremendous growth, but it is essential to be aware of the potential difficulties that may come up as well. The esoteric aspects are Mars Quintile Jupiter, Mars Quintile Chiron, and Saturn Quintile Uranus. So when Mars quintiles Jupiter, there's an opportunity for creative problem solving and manifesting your goals. Since Mars is the planet of action, it can be beneficial to draw on the expansive energy of Jupiter to bring big ideas to life. The Mars Quintile Chiron aspect can be difficult as it can bring up unresolved wounds that need to be healed. So it's best to release your feelings by starting or continuing a spiritual or sort of like self-care sort of like practice, maybe a creative project, playing playing that instrument that you play, or starting a personal hobby that can also be released for your emotions and allow you to release them in healthier ways. The Saturn Quintile Uranus aspect that's also active at the time of the new moon can be both a blessing and a curse. When balanced, this aspect can manifest in a person as a strong sense of self-control and a willingness to explore new ideas out of your comfort zone and also out of traditional sort of boundaries. This combination of traits can be highly beneficial for those looking to pursue new lines of thought and break the mold of pre-existing sort of like conventions, expectations. On the other hand, negatively, some of you may feel more insecure and fearful when it comes to breaking out of your comfort zone due to this aspect. This can be sort of like a fear of taking risks and trying something new. So this can be a fear of taking risks and trying something new, which could lead to a sort of, feeling stuck, feeling like you're unable to move and feeling afraid to take chances that could potentially bring great rewards. So this can result in a cycle of missed opportunities and a lack of progress, what the super new moon is asking for us to do. So if you also constantly suppress the desire to explore and take changes, this can lead to depression, anxiety and frustration. So it is essential to be aware of the potential risks and effects associated with this Saturn Quintile Uranus transit, as well as all the other negatives of all the other transits that's going on at the time of this new moon, so that you can harness the positive effects of the super new moon in the 7th degree of Pisces on the 7th of March. On the positive, all of today's transits support personal transformation, but they also carry some negative effects if we're not mindful. So with careful consideration, we can use the power of the super new moon to create positive changes in our lives and make the most of these positive energies. So I just want to go deeper into the Sabian degrees today and how they sort of like supporting us. So the moon and sun are in the 7th degree of Pisces, and the tagline of the Sabian degree is, by a shaft of light, a large cross lies on the rock surrounded by sea mist, or the cross on the rock. So the degree's message is clear: to stand uncompromisingly for our truth and be guided by our inner voice above all else. It is a reminder that there is a unique spiritual blessing to be found in being true to yourself, and that the highest degree of self-assertion and belief can be transformative, promoting that sort of self-awareness and love. The cross amidst the misty sea is a sign of strength, standing firm and being unshakable in the face of whatever there is to come. So this provides the energy that yes, change is not easy. It is not easy. It's so much easier to stay in our comfort zone, but that normally ends up with 50, 60 years of life wasted and regrets on our deathbeds. So this energy is getting us to realise that if we want to, and the choice is yours, sometimes knowing that we've got that support and the planetary energies are supporting that, even though they are bringing some conflict as well. So Mercury's in the 11th degree of Pisces. So the tagline is men travelling a narrow path seeking for illumination, and these Sabian degrees were written a while ago to the sea as a person travelling a narrow path seeking illumination. So the keynote of this Sabian degree is the capacity that's inherent in every person to seek entrance to a transcendent realm of reality at whatever the cost, and sometimes this is losing the things and the people sometimes that we've come to rely on. So this Sabian degree supports and calls for us to reach a new level of consciousness, reminding us that growth is continuous and that we're always building and destroying. And this, if you look at life really, if you look at the seasons, so letting go and receiving life is a cycle, and just like nature and the seasons have their winter, so does every human life. Still, the spring, the better days, the summers always comes, reminding us that we must keep reaching beyond our comfort zone despite our sort of like obstacles. If you take the first step, the universe, or whatever you call the higher power, will support you. So to sum up the new moon of the 21st of March, it's known to be a special one, as winter, as while it's gone, it's in its last days and the spring is now blooming. The worms will help fertilise the soil and bring new growth, highlighting and proving the everlasting promise of nature, that of continuous rebirth and renewal that's present to us at any time, not just the new moon. You know, anytime you feel that you want to make a change, you can do it. So this super new moon reminds us to let go of the past and look to the future, to plan and prepare for what is to come, and have faith in the promise of nature's continuous cycle of life and death. May the super new moon bring us all new beginnings and appreciation of the beauty of nature's cycle. Also today, content creators can use the energy of this new moon to talk about how people can develop practical strategies to make the best of this super new moon, discuss how facing challenges is all of the journey to personal success and how to navigate obstacles, giving advice on how people should, approach their goals by breaking them down into small steps rather than focusing on the bigger picture. Yeah, pay attention to the bigger details, encourage them to do that, but also make them aware that, we can plan sometimes in life, make the best plans, but sometimes even those can go wrong. So it's always best to be prepared to change your plans, so to speak. So give them strategies and how they can do that as well. Also talk about how finances and lack of them can affect reaching goals, but also to get creative with navigating. You may not be able to afford a college degree, but you can afford to go on the internet and watch some videos and teach yourself anything that you want to learn, from coding to sort of like writing and publishing or anything else, making a podcast and stuff. There's lots of information. So talk about free resources that people can seek out to reach their goals. Also the importance of communicating effectively, because there's a lot of challenges. Also talking about how to budget as well with the finances, with time as well, so that people can achieve their goals, giving strategies and how they can do that. Also just talking about your own experiences that you faced in getting to where you are now, and just provide general meaningful guidance and advice that people can use in their own lives right now, and how talk about the importance of staying optimistic and having faith even in the most difficult of life circumstances is important as well. And just general advice on how to make the best of any challenges that will come their way. Also to handle feelings of insecurity and fear as well. So yeah, that was the daily scope for the 21st of March.